But today, we are losing biodiversity, and quickly. This doesn't just mean we see one-of-a-kind species and species disappear. It puts us in danger too. So what's driving this biodiversity loss? And where do we go from here? Right now, over 1 million plant and animal species are threatened with extinction, and the average population sizes of wildlife have dropped by around 70% since 1970. We've already lost half of the world's corals and lose forest areas the size of 27 football fields every minute. So what's causing all this? There are 5 key drivers of biodiversity loss. Let's start with the biggest: changes in land and sea use, especially for food production. We all need to eat, but the intensive and unsustainable way we currently produce food sees us degrade and destroy precious environments that are critical for people and nature. Already about 40% of our habitable land is used for agriculture, for livestock, and for crops that feed both people and livestock. And that's just one of the ways that our land and sea use threatens nature. Overexploiting species via harvesting or hunting and poaching is another reason we're losing biodiversity. Overfishing, for example, is happening at such a large scale, nearly a third of all monitored global fish stocks are now overfished. If we keep this up, this would spell disaster for marine ecosystems, as well as the more than 3 billion people globally who rely on fish for their primary source of protein. And that's not all. Pollution is threatening our blue planet too. There are many sources of pollution. Take plastic, for example. Our rivers and lakes are overflowing with it, and over 14 million tons make their way into our oceans every year. This impacts marine environments and the many plants and animals which live there, species which keep our planet in balance. When these spaces are polluted, species suffer, so we lose them. Our warming climate is also bad for biodiversity. The climate crisis creates more severe weather and increases the likelihood of hurricanes, floods, droughts, and wildfires, which can be catastrophic for natural habitats. Changing temperatures not only affect habitats, they can disrupt how species reproduce or migrate, triggering these events when conditions aren't ideal. This puts their survival at risk, and it puts our planet where everything works together at risk too. These changes in climate, along with our increased transport and travel globally, can also cause invasive species to spread to new areas. These then compete with native species for space, food, and more, or spread diseases, further lowering their odds of survival.